let's get into the date in which you said you were informed by Mrs. du Plessis, or you were requested to take a confession. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That is correct.
The communication between yourself and Mrs. du Plessis, was it in writing or verbally?
Telefonies.
Telephonically. Inkulumo phakathi kwami ke no Mrs. du Plessis okuyena ke wangicela kwakungocingo.
So the details of what you discussed between yourself and Mrs. du Plessis cannot be confirmed if she is not called to confirm such conversation. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That is correct. Yebo ke okwakhulunywa ke phakathi kwami naye angeke kube kuqinisekisweke uma engabiziwe.
So that part of evidence can be provisionally accepted unless or until Mrs. du Plessis is called to testify in order to confirm that conversation. Is that correct?
Die regter het reeds 'n uitspraak daaroor gegee toe ek die getuienis gelewer het.
The judge has already made a ruling with regards to that when I testified.
En sover ek kan onthou, was dit aangedui as dat dit geskraap moet word wanneer is hoorsê.
And as far as I can remember, it was indicated that it should not form part of the record because it is hearsay.
Maar
Sorry, okay.
ten opsigte van u vraag, dit bly die keuse van die hof en die staatsadvokaat wat hulle met daai deel wil doen.
But with regards to your question, it remains the choice of the court as well as the state as to what they are going to do as far as that is concerned. Kuyiqiniswa ke ukuthi impela ke angeke kube nesiqiniseko saloko kwashiwo phakathi kwami naye uMrs. du Plessis, kodwa ke inkantolo ibisiskiphile ke isinqumo nkathi nikezela ngobufakazi ukuthi leyo ngxenye yobufakazi ke ukuthi ingamukelwa ke nanjengokuthi into ukuthi akekho lo muntu lona engikhuluma ngaye ukuthi kuzokwenziwani ke emuva kwalokho isinqumo senkantolo kanye nayo umshushisi.
When you arrived at Boksburg Court, it was 2:30, subject to correction, but I heard that it was 2:30.
Nee, dit was 2:25 min of meer.
No, it was more or less 2:25. Sikhathi ngafika ngaso eBoksburg ngathi kwaku 2:25.
2:25. And when you entered the court building, or when you entered towards the office that was prepared for you, that is room 2, you saw police officers who were heavily armed. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That is correct. Kuyiqiniswa ukuthi ngathi mangena lapho ngabona amaphoyisa ayehlomile.
Were you not frightened?
Nee.
No. Ngangasabi.
When you noticed somebody that was handcuffed, that was an assumption that this is the person who's coming to take a confession. Is that so?
That's correct.
That is correct. Yabo ke uma ngabona ke umuntu ofaka ozankosi la engacabangela khona ukuthi uyena ke lo muntu lona ozokhuluma noma uzokwenza confession.
The person who was wearing the suit, you said, did you manage to know who that person was?
That's correct.
That is correct.
What was-
Kuyiqiniswa ukuthi ngaye ngamazi ukuthi wakubani lo owayegqoke isuti.
Who was that person?
Die persoon het homself voorgestel aan my in die kantoor as meneer Dominic Mjiyakho.
The person introduced himself to me in the office as Dominic Mjiyakho. Wayichaza ke lo muntu loyo nanjengo Dominic Mjiyakho.
Sy volle naam en van het ek egter van die dokumentasie gekry wat hy aan my oorhandig het.
But his full details or his full names as well as his surname, I got those from the document that he provided me with. Kodwa ke amagama akhe aphelele ngawathola ke kuloko noma ke document awayenginikeze yona.
Let's just start with Mr. Mjiyakho, Dominic. It's your evidence that you satisfied yourself that he was an attorney. Correct?
Ja,
Yes, yebo ngayineza ke ukuthi waye ummeli noma nganyela ke ukuthi ummeli,
But there was a distinctive feature that actually happened, or you treated him differently from other police officers. Let me just put it very straight to say you did not make the copies of the Fidelity Fund certificate and the appointment certificate. Is that correct?
Dis korrek.
That is correct. Kuyiqiniso ke ukuthi ke i-certificate sakhe ke nalesi se-Fidelity Fund angwenzanga ama-copy alokho.
And you made the copies of the officers, including the officer Mr. Mugano, and you attached them on the pro forma. Is that correct?
Ek het self nie die afskrifte gemaak nie. Hulle het die afskrifte gemaak en in die kantoor ingebring net voordat ek begin het met die bekentenis.
I did not personally make the copies. They made the copies and brought those copies to the office just before I started with the confession. Akuyimina ke owawenza ke layo makopi uma khuluma ke ngomkhanye ngibona bahamba bayowenza base bewaletha ke ngaphambilini nje ukuthi ngiqaleke ngenze leyo confession.
But at your request, is that so?
Dit is korrek.
That is correct. Lokho bakwenza ke becelwe yimina.
But you never requested the copies of Mr. Mjiyakho to be the FFC certificate and the appointment certificate. You never requested it to be copies to be made out of them. Is that correct?
That is correct. Kuyiqiniso ukuthi kaMjiyakho wona ke amaphepha angizange ngicela ukuthi akwenziwe ama-copy awo.
And Mr. Mjiyakho, that Dominic Mjiyakho, unless if he's called to testify, what he told you cannot be accepted in court as hearsay evidence. You agree?
Dis korek.
That is correct. Yebo ke angitshela kona ke uMjiyakho lokho akwazile ukwamukeleka enkantolo nanje ukuthi into angayizwa ngoba ngaphandleni kokuthi abizwe eze yena ezofakazi.
And that failure to prove that evidence cannot be corroborated by the copies that should have been attached in the pro forma. Do you agree?
Daar is geen kopieë aangeheg wat die inskrywing op hierdie bekentenis tot daai effek bevestig nie. Dis korrek.
That is correct, yes. There is no copy made with regards to that which is attached to this confession. Kuyiqiniso ukuthi ngempela akayikho ke icopy yaloko noma lokho obhaliwe lapho ekhona noma eyingxenye yale statement lesi.
So this honorable court cannot accept the evidence of a discussion between yourself and Mr. Mjiyakho. Do you agree?
In terme van wat?
With regards to what?
The
conversation between yourself and Mr. Mjiyakho, who said is the attorney, Dominic Mjiyakho.
Dit is bevestig deur die persoon wat die bekentenis self gemaak het ook en hy hierdie man uitgewys ook as sy prokureur. Hierdie man het bevestig dat hy die prokureur is. So ten opsigte van die voorsittende beampte myself moet ek aanvaar as 'n persoon 'n bekentenis kom aflê en hy self wys na hierdie man en sê dit is sy prokureur en hierdie man bevestig dit dat dit wel so is.
This was mentioned or was said by the deponent of the confession, and then the person himself confirmed that indeed he was the lawyer. Now I, as the presiding officer, the person who was now taking down the confession, then has to accept that indeed if the person, the deponent says this is his lawyer and he confirms that it is indeed so. Lokhu ke kwakhulunywa uyena ke lona owayezokwenza istatement ukuthi ummeli wakhe. Naye ke lo ekuthiwa ummeli naye ke wase eqinisekisa ke lokho ukuthi ummeli. Nanjenge manje ke mina ke engizokwenza ukuthi ngamukeleke ukuthi lokho abangitshela kona ngempela kukanjalo.
Ek het myself vergewis met die dokumentasie wat hy voorgelê het, met dit wat die persoon wat die bekentenis afgelê het aan my meegedeel het, asook hierdie prokureur. Maar u is reg. As die staat, as hy dit in twyfel getrek word dat hierdie persoon sê wie hy is, dat hy nie 'n prokureur is nie, dat hy my as voorsittende beampte mislei het, of dat daar 'n bewering is dat die persoon glad nie eers daar was nie, dan moet die staatsadvokaat toesien dat hierdie persoon geroep word. Wat my betref in daardie omstandighede was ek tevrede dat en oortuig gewees dat hierdie man sê wie hy is en dat die persoon wat die bekentenis aflê wel ook tevrede is met hierdie man wat sê dat dit sy prokureur is en dat dit is die persoon wat hy aangestel het.
This was said to me by the deponent, and then the documentation was then provided or shown to me. I certified myself with that which was said by the deponent as well as the documentation that it was indeed the case. If now there is this allegation now from your side that this person was not a lawyer, or was not an attorney, or that this person was never there, then indeed, yes, as you say, the state will then, or that this person misled me as the presiding officer, then of course it is incumbent upon the state to then call this person to come before the court.
Thank you. But
Lokho ke okwashiwo uloyo owayenza statement kumina ngase nginikezwa ke nephepha ke noma ke idocument emchazayo ke ukuthi ummeli lo muntu ngase nginize nezakho ukuthi ngempela lokho kukanjalo uma ke kuukuthi lokho wena ke okushoyo ukuthi cha lo muntu wayengekho lapho wayengasiyena ummeli noma wangikhohlisa ke mina uzosho ke ukuthi kuzofanele ukuthi eze phambi kwalenkantolo azokusho ke lokho.
Die tolk was natuurlik ook teenwoordig tydens die hele voorval en is ook 'n getuie tot wat plaasgevind het in die kantoor.
The interpreter was also present during the proceedings and is also a witness with regards to what happened in the office. Utolika ke naye ke wayekhona ke lapho futhi ke ufakazi ke mayelana nalokho okwenzeka ehhovisi.
Ma'am, I said let us just start with Dominic Mjiyakho. My question still stands. What you discuss, forget about the deponent. What you discuss between yourself and Dominic cannot be confirmed at this moment. Is that correct?
Ek het die vraag reeds geantwoord, ek staan by.
I've already answered the question. I maintain that which I've already said. Senguphenduleke lo mbuzo njengobuza ushobo ukuthi okuwakhulunywa yimina ke no Dominic angeke asikho isiqinisekiso sawo. Sengiphenduleke kulo mbuzo.
And I'll further.
Sorry, Mr. Mngomezulu. Sorry.
Sorry.
This witness adds a rider that the interpreter was present when this gesprek, when this discussion happened. Are you saying that, ma'am?
Dis korrek.
Yeah, that's the rider she adds.
My Lord, I'll come to the evidence of an interpreter.
No, fine.
The
but you're just
important-
saying the witness adds a rider. You see the problem here, she's testifying in Afrikaans. And die hof is machtig in Afrikaans. So that rider was not interpreted.
No, I did, my lord.
No, you interpreted it the first time. Are you with me? But when she says end, the talk was that so.
I did. That's not my
Okay, fine, sorry.
Okay.
No problem.
So, to your knowledge, you are not sure if, okay, let me just put it this way. Let's get into, I'll just sum up my questions in relation to Mr. Mjiyakho by saying, other than a confirmation by the interpreter, there's nothing that you can confirm that Mr. Mjiyakho was present on that particular day.
Die kliënt kan dit bevestig.
Your client can confirm that. Njengoba uthi ke ngaphandle kotolika akukho kunye okungaqinisekisaka ukuthi uMjiyakho wayekhona lona ommeleke angaqinisekisa.
It's my instruction that he was not represented on that day, and he does not even know Mr. Mjiyakho. It's my instruction. That's why I'm still insisting on the right to legal representation.
As dit u instruksie is, dan vertel u kliënt nie vir u die waarheid nie.
If that is your instruction, then your client is not telling you the truth. Ukuma kungaba ke lokho uthi ke lona ommeli ukutshela lokho ke ukuthi wayengamelwe ngaleli langa kusho ukuthi akakutsheli iqiniso.
All right. If that is so, he's not telling me the truth. I just want to establish, because you said you have done not less than 50 confessions in your experience. Do you still confirm that?
Dis korrek.
That is correct. Yebo bengishilo ukuthi angisengiwenzile ama confessions awekho ke ngaphansi ko 50.
When you're taking a confession in the presence of a legal practitioner, what is the role of the practitioner? Is it passive or active? The role of the attorney when you're taking a confession. Is it passive or active?
Ten opsigte van 'n konfessie behoort dit nie te wees in 'n mate dat die prokureur vir die beskuldigde vir die deposant voorsê of voorskryf wat hy moet sê nie, maar kan wel adviseer en bystaan.
With regards to a confession, it is not necessarily that the lawyer or the attorney would inform the person as to what it is to say, in other words, lead the person into what to say, but would, advise the person and also be there or represent the person. Ngokumayelana naye-ke ummeli akusukuthi-ke uma ekhona ummeli lapho ukuthi kufanele amtshele loyo ahamba naye noma amele ukuthi yini akufanele ayisho, ukhona nje ukuthi ameluleke nokuthi-ke amxhaseke noma-ke amsupport ukuthi abe ngobukhona bakhe lapho.
According
Ek gaan nie voort met enige bekentenis alvorens ek nie vasgestel het of beide partye teenwoordig ten opsigte van die verklaarder en die prokureur behoorlik met mekaar gekonsulteer het nie.
I do not
En vind ek dit uiters vreemd dat
I do not proceed or I do not go ahead with taking of a statement, whether it's a confession or a statement, without confirming or making sure that both parties had properly consulted. That is now the person, the deponent as well as the lawyer. Angiqhubekekike noma ngiyiphambili-ke ngokuthi-ke ngistate istatement ngingenaso isiqiniseko sokuthi laba bantu bakhulumisene lokho kubizwa ngokuthi uconsulta ummeli kanye futhi naye-ke lona ammele.
I understand that.
She's not finished yet. She's not finished yet.
Sorry?
She wasn't finished yet. Just ask her to stop because I didn't want it to be long.
Okay, sorry, beg your pardon, sir.
en vind ek dit vreemd dat die deposant in hierdie bekentenis enigstens andersins sou beweer.
And I find it very strange that the deponent in this case or in this instance would then now mention it or say it differently or otherwise. Futhi-ke kuyinto manje-ke engimangazayo-ke ukuthi lona-ke engangikhulumisana naye lana-ke manje akhulume okuhlukile noma akhulume enye into.
I'm glad that you mentioned the interpreter. But what I want to establish from you, the person who was going to take a confession, is that did you afford them an opportunity to consult prior to the taking of a
Meneer, u het
confession?
die band geluister. U weet dit is gedoen. U weet beide partye het my meegedeel dat hulle klaar gekonsulteer het.
Okay, what next one? Sir, you listened to the record. You know very well that both parties informed me that they did that. Ulalelile irecord uyakwazi futhi ukuthi bobabilike bangitshelile ukuthi lokho bebese bekwenzile.
So die antwoord op u vraag is net kort en kragtig. Dit is gedoen.
And so the answer to your question is short and sweet. It was done. Impendulo kumbuzo wakho umfushane nje ukuthi kwenziwa lokho noma makwenza lokho.
Ma'am, I just want us to be in the same page when I'm asking questions. For your information, that tape recording has not been accepted in this court. We can't rely on it. Do you agree? Do you know that?
Ek neem nou kennis van wat u sê. Die staatsadvokaat het ook vir my gesê toe ek geroep is.
I'm taking note of what you say now, and the prosecutor also informed me when I was called. Ngiyakuzwa-ke manje njengoba ungitshela-ke ukuthi recording leyo asiyona ingxenye yobufakazi nomshushisi ungitshelile.
I just want to establish the presence of a legal practitioner.
Soos reeds geantwoord meneer, daar was een teenwoordig. Sy besonderhede is neergeskryf en sy fidelity van sertifikaatnommer is neergeskryf. So hy behoort opspoorbaar te wees.
I've already answered the question, sir. His particulars or his details are written there, as well as a fidelity funds is also a number is also written there. So that means that he's traceable or he can be traced. Myla.
Sorry.
Myla ke mininingwane yommeli ibhaliwe lapha ya. Inamba yakhe ke ye-fidelity fund ibhaliwe okusho ukuthi ke uma efuneka angatholakala.
All that was done in the presence of an interpreter.
Dis korrek.
That is correct. Konke lokho kwenziwa utolike khona.
Between the deponent and his attorney, who initiated in the taking of a confession, was it the deponent or his attorney?
Die verklaarder,
The deponent.
Thank you.
Umuntu ke phakathi kommeli kanye naye ke loyo owanikeza ke statement, umuntu ke owayekhuluma ke noma ke owaqala ke inkulumo kwakuyena ke lo owayinikeza ngestatement.
As I've maintained that that would be the version, but I can't repeat the version of accused number 2.